There's Kaduna, Jaji, Command and Staff College, and picking anything they like, they go for it. How do you explain the attack in Kano on 20th January 2012? Between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., 7 formations, police headquarters, Assistant Inspector General of Police General Command, SSS office, Immigration office, everyone, they went there. So where are we? What do we do? So if some bunch of criminals will come in army uniform into a school, how did they come there? There's a curfew.
You were talking before the news, and you said reconnaissance, and you were going to say something on that. Can we start on that train of thought again?
It is a duty of security anywhere in the world to foresee something coming, to go on their own, looking for trouble when there is no trouble, so that they can nip it in the bud when it comes. So if you are under state of emergency and the formation, a whole division was created because of this in that corner of Nigeria. There was a whole new division, the armed division. And then you have what you call Joint Task Force. The army, the air force, the police, the whatever, state security, they're all there doing their own thing. How come some bunch of criminals will now dress like you when there is no movement anywhere from 10 to 6 a.m., there is no movement anywhere. So how do they penetrate, even if it is one person? In Lagos, when they are doing environmental, psychologically you stay at home even if you have nothing to do. You have somewhere to go, but the fear of the unknown, the security, you may be picked for not staying at home to clean your environment. That is ordinary thing, civilian initiative. How about a place under state of war? Then these people will sneak in the night.
Because these are the kinds of questions.
Their movement does not attract anybody's attention.
Alhaji Othman, these are the kinds of questions we should be asking, so that at least we can see if we can unravel some of the puzzles here. And I'm sure that's what the presidency and the team of governors and security chiefs tried to do yesterday, because we were almost heating up the polity with statements, counter statements from politicians, from X this and X that, yes, to quote you. And we just realized that like yourself and every other Nigerian, would be in dire strait if we don't sit down and actually see an end to this. Going from that particular meeting and with this question you just raised, what would you expect us to start doing, especially the military authorities as well as the people in those localities?
Well, the people in that locality, they have done everything possible at their own level. After all, they even donated themselves as civilian joint task force. And they have been pointing out their suspected or perceived members of Boko Haram. And because they are not protected, Boko Haram, who has superior intelligence information, now went back and picked those people who pointed accusing finger at them and dealt with them. Many of them were killed, many of them, some of them went into exile, ran to another town. These people still pursue them either to Kaduna or to Kano and kill them there. So what is going on? Now, first of all, I am one of those, maybe I am the only one out of all Nigerians who doesn't believe something called forest border. That's nothing like that. But there are forest brains that cannot retain anything.
So no excuses.
No, there's no excuse. 1,600 kilometers Nigeria-Cameroon border. You cannot go and mess them up there. But you come to Nigeria, we have forest border. 1,533 kilometers, Nigeria-Niger border, where River Niger comes into Nigeria, all the way to where you meet Lake Chad. That was Nigeria-Niger border. And Niger people, the whole Niger was no bigger than, in terms of population, was no bigger than Kano and Katsina states put together. But you cannot go there. Just cross, pick any bush you like, any desert, cross there, 30 minutes, Jandam will pick you. So we say, oh no, they are coming, they are taking our people across. Even Shekau was, we claim that we wounded him, he went to Cameroon, died in a hospital there, which came to not to be true. Now we say, we have rescued so and so. They come back and swallow their words. It didn't happen. So somebody is not doing his job, and but we are shy to deal with anybody. So the armed forces, whoever is responsible for securing that corner of Nigeria, they must wake up and do their thing. The power that to be must take care of the welfare of those soldiers who are there, because they are not really being taken care of. Some people may deny it, but I had a program where these people testify on their own.
But the Minister of Defense, State for Defense, sorry, Chamberlain, I know we have to go back to Abuja. He was seated in that same, on that same seat, and he said, well, he interacted with them even on the field, and the story or the report he got was that that's not true, that they're well taken care of.
But what do you expect anybody in power to say? He doesn't have the freedom to talk like me. I'm a free bird. What I see is what I don't have any interest anywhere. I'm not looking for anything from anybody. But what I see is what I'm going. My conscience will not allow me to hold information.
Okay, let's also try Jibrin Sabo Kiana to see if he's also a free bird, because I mean we don't have any reason not to try again, since there'll be no excuse for any quarters. Can you hear us now, Mr. Sabo Kiana? Okay, well, yes, indeed. Let's get your opinion on all of this. Yes, we've seen them meet, including those who we thought, that's the public now, perhaps we're not pulling in the right direction. But now that they had this expanded security meeting and given some marching orders, what do you think?
My take is that if the country is lucky, the country may just have begun a journey that may lead to finding the solutions to the problems that has engulfed the country. And this journey must be in two directions. First and foremost is for the country to go back to the basics. That is to trace a step back as far as possible to where we believe we may have lost the touch to it, how to manage our security problems, and then at the same time, keeping our tap on the events that are unfolding from two perspectives, because that is the urgent thing that is before the country now, is to make sure that we minimize further casualties on people, is for the government to engage perpetually with all the stakeholders at the community level, at the government level, at the state level, at the local government level. Everybody that is available for engagement must be taken seriously. Any information that reaches the government must treat it with the utmost urgency that it requires. The second thing is to look at the long-term program that must commence immediately. There is a pool of unemployed graduates in the country. The government must employ them immediately and commence a training programs for surveillance, or information gathering, security restructuring in the form of having a large pool of people to gather information in a manner that is practiced all over the world, so that we can foresee some of these problems sufficient enough for us to be able to plan against them. And we also must take from yesterday's meeting that every governor, every local government chairman, the president, all the officials of government, that we are all in this soup together, and that statements that must encourage togetherness, encourage to give hope to ordinary people, because everybody looks upon the government, whether you're at the local government level, or the state government level, or the federal government, for one purpose. First, his security. If he's secured, he can afford to think about going to his farm. If he's secured, he can afford to begin to think about his child going to school. If he's secured, he can begin to think about his child going to the hospital or going to the market or to do any other business that, for God's sake, any living person would like to do. But if we begin to trade words, about blames and playing to the gallery, it's going to hurt this country beyond a point where there will be no return journey. And we in government, for whichever purpose, this is the time of restraint. And I think the government officials must restrain themselves from reacting to comments that are inflammatory. Because there is no win-win situation when I say something that is wrong and the government reacts to it. Because in time of war, the focus of government is to win the war, not to win the battles. The battles will come in forms of distractions, of comments from people who we believe maybe are not with government and so on and so forth. And we must have a lot of restraint in finding a way to manage such information. And in every statement that comes out from anybody at whatever level, my opinion is that there is something in that statement for the government to take to explore to see how they can combat the situation that we have at hand. And this has not been the case, and we're very glad that reasoning has prevailed, and this yesterday's meeting is very gladdening and is very strategic for the country. At the same time, we must go back to certain values that we have always practiced in the past across the country in every ethnic setting, that the community level is the hub, is the unit, is